Andy, firstly, it's been mentioned there 8 wins in a row. How much more has this Ireland team got to give? How much more can it improve?
Plenty. I think we're nowhere near our potential. It's something that I suppose you're always going to keep striving for anyway. Potential, I don't think you'll ever get there because that has to be the culture of the side. That has to be the attitude of the side to keep and want to improve in each competition that we face down the track.
And in your time in charge of Ireland so far, is this the best crop of players you have to work with?
I'll tell you that after the Six Nations. Listen, look, I think what has happened over the last 18 months, I think we've seen players step up to the international level, and some of those players are now on 5 or 6 caps. Some of them are on 13 to 16 caps, etc. And we're seeing them grow as people, not just players. They're getting more comfortable in the pressure cooker that is international rugby, and we're all seeing the rewards for that.
And if we look at the summer and then the autumn, how good Ireland were, from the outside it looks like the physicality levels have just stepped up. And look at Josh van der Flaar, how the level of area he's taken his game to. Has that been something you've worked on for the last 6 months, Andy?
It isn't just physicality. You've got to earn the right to be physical. You can't just be too emotional in this game and just go out there and try and be physical, because otherwise, the opposition are too strong at international level. You'll get burnt, certainly. It's an all-round know-how of how to play the game, to earn the right to be physical, powerful, dynamic, etc. And those are the lessons we're learning along the way.
And England and France away. Couple of good teams there. They're going to be big fixtures to target, aren't they?
Well, the whole focus is on the first game, obviously, because that matters. That matters everything to us at this moment in time. 100%. We go full bore over the next 10 days to prepare the best that we possibly can to be at our best, and that's why the autumn was pretty good for us, because we hit the ground running against Japan. And then we'll get onto those games later on. But when you do look down the track at those games, they're the type of games that you want to see your team go against. We want to see them go to places like that. The harder the task, the better for us, because we're learning more about ourselves.
And 18 months away from a World Cup, obviously the Six Nations in front of you, but how big a tournament is this for the likes of the World Cup, and see where the so-called not fringe players, the guys that are on the bench, how much of an impact they can give you when they're brought on, so if they're ready for the World Cup, you can see?
Well, it's certainly part of the journey, but you take the Six Nations in isolation. This is the competition that everyone wants to play in. This is the bread and butter of Northern Hemisphere competition, and every Northern Hemisphere team would tell you that this is the place to be. This is the competition that they want to win year in, year out. It's special. So I suppose that tells you it all.
Great stuff. And Johnny, if I'm right, I think it might be your 12th Six Nations. Are you still as excited as this one as you are for the first one, as you were for the first one?
Yeah, I actually am. I said that when I was leaving home the other day. I feel the exact same way, and I think the day that I don't feel like that will be the day that I pack it in. And it's a special tournament. It's a special feeling when you come to it. The whole country doesn't come to a standstill, but not far off it. Everyone looks forward to it, and it's very different to other international windows like the summer or autumn, and there's a special feel around it. Yeah.
And from the outside, everyone thinks you're in the best form that you've been in a long time. How do you feel yourself playing, Johnny?
Good. I had a good block in the summer where I worked really hard to make sure that I was in a position to train. And then once I've been able to stay on the training pitch, that's the big thing for me is getting enough things through the legs. And that's where I've suffered in previous years, where maybe I was, picking up niggles and missing sessions here or there, and got a good block in the summer. And I've continued that on through. Obviously picked up the injury against New Zealand, but that one probably couldn't have been prevented really. So I've come back. I've been rusty a little bit in the first 2 games back, but I'd rather that and hit the ground running in the Six Nations than, making the same mistakes, going forward.
And finally, last one for me. How do you compare this team, Johnny, to the one that won the Grand Slam in 2018?
Look, some similarities, some very different. It's a very different environment now. Camp is a very different place. But we've obviously taken lots of good things from that campaign and brought them with us into this environment, and then we've added some new things. But ultimately we haven't achieved since that day. So we're desperate to get back to winning ways, and it all starts really today and the next 10 days and how we prepare, and that is what we can control, and that's what we'll be focusing on.
We'll hopefully achieve this time round. Cheers, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.